Today I'm going to be turning this piece of Padauk, which was kindly given to me by Rob Summerlin when he visited my shop here, or my garage, back in the summer with Steve Twydell. I've cut it into a bowl blank and with my circle cutting jig, and I haven't turned Padauk before apart from the little Christmas man's carrot nose with a bit of the offcut, and I've kept the other bits for little pieces for the future. However, I'll be turning a small bowl with this, and also be trying out for the first time on a bowl Martin Saban-Smith's Hampshire Sheen, and I'll put a link to Martin's channel and also his website for Hampshire Sheen. So I'm looking forward to doing that. You may notice that I'm sporting a wonderful piece of woodworking wear, wood turning wear. It's a polo shirt with the UKIS logo on, and it is available at the site that I will put down below. All the proceeds from any of the merchandise that you purchase will go towards the Symposium's outreach programme. So you, apart from looking really good, you'll be doing the Symposium and the outreach programme a lot of good. And a great bit of news and development with regards to the Symposium, full details, as I say, on Martin's channel, is that Trend are coming on board, and they are working in collaboration with a guy called Rob Venus for a clean air initiative, if you like, with their Trend Air Shield Pro. So Trend will be at the Symposium as well. And an added feature and a bonus, fingers crossed, is that sharpening guru, in my opinion, James Barry, will be there as well to demonstrate all the sharpening products and to give you a proper insight into the technique of getting the best results from their sharpening media. So great things developing there as well. Ticket sales are going extremely well. I think we're about 37–38% of total ticket sales, and that's only 4 or 5 weeks into the event organisation being started. But as I say, full details and in-depth details regarding the Symposium on Martin Saban-Smith's channel, and I'll put a link down below. So without further ado, we will go across to the lathe and turn a Padauk. This is the piece of Padauk. I've drilled a hole which is the same size as the peg on my circle cutting jig, and the reason for that is that fits my worm screw. Now the worm screw fits into my dovetail jaws, and you tighten those up. This is a very thick piece of wood, it's 1.5 inches. I'm putting a spacer, plywood spacer, onto the worm screw, and then I will screw that on. I'll just be using a 3/8 spindle gouge on this because it's a small piece of wood, and you won't need the bigger gouges. So it'll be a fairly plain design, I think, and then we'll finish it with Hampshires to just true up the edge, which I'll do now. Handle quite low, and it's a small piece, returning at about 1800 breaths. And I'll sand that up, and I'll come back when I'm going to apply the finish. So I've sanded up to 600, and now I'm going to apply sanding sealer mix, and look at that colour coming out from there, absolutely stunning. And rub the sanding sealer well in, make sure it gets in all the corners. And it also takes off any dust that's in the pores as well as sealing the grain. Okay, now the sanding first coat is dry, just take a little bit of double O wire wool just to denib. Apply one more coat of sanding sealer mix, shake him up. And you'll notice when you do this that the second application goes on much easier because you've already started to seal. Okay, so what I've done is I've applied the second coat of sanding sealer mix and allowed it to dry and denibbed it. Now we are going to apply Martin Saban-Smith's Hampshire Sheen. There's a little wax cover on the top. Now Martin suggests doing it with the lathe at a slow speed, so I got the lathe doing about 500 revs, and shall apply a bit more. Getting on the corners. Now Martin said to let it dry a little bit, like you would with any wax really, and this wax is Martin's own recipe, and it includes Danish oil, carnauba wax, and for extra durability, microcrystalline wax. So and he produces it in the UK, in Hampshire, where he's from. Now let's put the speed up, a fresh piece of paper towel to burnish this, and let's see. And there you go. Very impressed with that. A lovely, lovely deep lustre. And there's quite a bit of chatoyance off this Padauk as well in the light. I don't know if the camera picks that up. But yeah, very impressed with that, Martin. Looks okay, good. So I've turned it round into the dovetail jaws on the O'Donnell jaws, and just face up the front, and we'll hollow it out. Yep, I think that's it. Right, I think that's good enough now. I'll sand him up and we'll come back when I'm putting the finish on. Okay, so now I've sanded up to 600 and now apply sanding sealer mix, and as before, work it well in. Okay, so let that settle, let that dry rather, and I'll come back and I'll denib that, put another coat on, and then we'll come back when I'm putting the wax on, the Hampshire Sheen. Okay, so I have now sanded down to 600, put 2 coats of sanding sealer mix on, and for those of you that still aren't sure, the sanding sealer mix is cellulose sanding sealer, 3 parts to 1 part of cellulose thinners, and that's been denibbed, and now I'm going to apply at a lowish speed the Hampshire Sheen. Let's put a tiny bit more on and just work it well in so we don't get any lines and streaks. And just let that dry for a couple of seconds. Let's put the wax paper top on and screw on the lid. Get a fresh paper towel and we'll buff it up. Turn the speed up to about just over 1,000 revs and give it a buff and a burnish. And there we go, and I think it's a really nice finish. Yep, it's a winner, Martin. Excellent. Really good. And a lovely bit of Padauk. So there's the finished bowl, or little plate I should say, little platter. And the Padauk is great to turn, enjoyed that very much, and the Hampshire Sheen certainly gives a nice deep lustre. And I shall be using that again. Well, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Cheers now.